Hey everyone, have you ever really stopped to think about what holds the internet together? I mean, what are the actual fundamental pieces? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on two of the most basic yet powerful building blocks of almost any web page you've ever seen: tables and links. Let's get into it.
Right. So when you land on a website, you see all this neatly organized information, right? And you've got pathways to click everywhere, taking you from one place to another. It's so seamless, we just take it for granted. But how does it all really work? What are the nuts and bolts that are actually holding the whole thing together? Well, today we're going to find out. We're going to zero in on two of the oldest and most essential tools in the web developer's toolkit. First, tables, which are all about creating structure. And second, links, which are all about creating connections. If you can really get your head around these two ideas, you'll start seeing the web in a totally new way. Okay, first up, tables. Look, before you can connect anything, you've got to get it organized, right? And when you need to show structured information on a web page, tables are the classic go-to solution for bringing a little bit of order to the chaos. Just think about something like a spreadsheet, or maybe a train schedule, or a page with financial results. Anytime you have data that naturally fits into a grid, with rows and columns, an HTML table is the perfect tool for the job. It's all about creating a clear, easy-to-read structure for your information. So how do you actually build one of these things? It's probably a lot simpler than you think. Let's take a look under the hood and break down the anatomy of a table into its most basic parts. It all kicks off with the table tag. Think of that as the main box that holds everything. Then, inside that box, you create each horizontal row using a TR tag, which stands for table row. And finally, inside each of those rows, you pop in your individual cells with the TD tag, which means table data. So it's just frame, then row, then cell. That's really the whole logic right there. And here you can see it all click into place. On the left, that's the code. You can see the nested table, TR, and TD tags. And then on the right, boom, you see the result in the browser, a perfectly structured financial report. Every single TR tag created a new row, and every TD inside of it became a cell. It's a perfect one-to-one translation from code to visual. Now, there's one more little detail. We've seen TD for your regular data cells, but what about the headings like outgoings or profit? For those, we use TH, or table header. This just tells the browser, hey, this cell is a title, and it usually makes the text bold automatically. It's a small thing, but it makes the data so much easier to understand. But what if your layout is more complicated? What if you need to merge some cells? Well, that's where colspan and rowspan come in, and they're super useful. Think of it like knocking down the wall between two rooms in a house. Colspan lets a single cell stretch out across multiple columns, and rowspan lets it stretch down across multiple rows. This gives you a ton of flexibility to create some pretty sophisticated designs. Okay, so we've got our information all nice and organized. Now it's time to connect it all together. Let's move on to our second building block, the hyperlink. If tables give the web structure, then hyperlinks are what give it life. This is the magic that turns a bunch of static pages into a living, breathing, interconnected web. So a link is made with what's called the A tag. And A stands for anchor. But that tag doesn't do anything on its own. It needs its most important sidekick, the href attribute. Href is just short for hypertext reference, and it's where you put the destination, the web address you want the link to go to. Check this out. On the left, you see these simple lines of code. Each A tag is just wrapped around a word like Facebook or Google, and the href points to their website URL. Then look to the right. That text is now blue, underlined, and most importantly, it's clickable. It's so simple but so powerful. This is literally the foundation of how we get around the internet. But the power of links goes way beyond just connecting to other websites. Oh yeah, they have a few other tricks up their sleeve that make them incredibly versatile tools. For instance, have you ever clicked on a Contact Us link and your email program just pops open, ready to go? That's actually done with a link. If you start the href value with mail to, and then put an email address after it, you create a link that automatically launches the user's email client. How cool is that? It's a super user-friendly little trick. And here's something really important to remember. It's not just text that can be a link. As the source material says, any displayed element can act as a hyperlink. This is huge because it opens up a whole world of possibilities, especially when it comes to images.
Look at this. To make an image clickable, all you do is wrap the image tag inside of an A tag. It's that simple. So here they're using a bunch of images to create this really nice graphical navigation bar. Each one of those images is now a fully functional button that can take you to a different page.
And get this, links don't even have to take you to a totally different website. They can actually help you navigate inside the same page. This is called internal linking. You can give a section of your page an ID and then create a link that when you click it, instantly zips the user right down to that specific spot. It's absolutely perfect for things like a long article or FAQ page.
So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. This is the blueprint. We use the table element to bring structure and order to our data, putting it in a nice grid. Then we use the A tag with its trusty href attribute to build bridges between all that information. And remember, those bridges can lead anywhere, other sites, an email, or even just another part of the same page. And you can use text or even images as the gateway.
These two elements, tables and links, they're really like the fundamental grammar of the web. They give us structure and connection, order and navigation. They seem simple, but when you put them together, they make almost anything possible. So, now that you know the blueprint, what would you build?